Man, did people walk fucking close to me. I don't know if you noticed that dude when I started filming. Oh, you probably didn't. It's too early. But yeah, man, people go, like, they focus on my shoulder blades. They line up right with them and just get in there. When I'm looking at my left and right, and I can't see the person, like, you know, anywhere around me, that's when I know they're real, real close to me. I just ran to my neighbor that showed me the IP address thing. Talked about it before, like he showed me how people with the vaccine have an IP address, and he showed me how it works in Target. Pretty crazy. I never told him I did this, like I have a YouTube channel or anything. I don't tell anybody. But that I don't know if I mentioned it, but that time when he was showing me in Target, when I was leaving, he's like, all right, man, whatever. We're saying our goodbyes, and he said something about the Bat Cave, and I'm like, oh yeah, this fucking. I like to sit in there and survey the neighborhood, and at the same time, I'm thinking, wait a minute, how did you know about that? And he was telling me his son found me on YouTube, and he told him about it. He goes, I didn't know you had a channel. I was watching your stuff. That's great. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. He a lot of people that I've met from here. See, every time I try to let someone go, they don't go. And then I'd stand like a moron with my dick in my hand. Yeah, people in the neighborhood that I met here are just, I guess they watch Hawaii videos. I do sometimes too, like if I see stuff filmed around here. So, yeah, people just run into me that way. And his son and his daughter found me on YouTube. And he was like, hey, is that Jimmy? From downstairs? It's funny. Yeah, it's not that I avoid telling people. I just don't. You know, I don't know. It's very specific, you know what I mean, what I talk about here. And, you know, it's very, it's not mainstream shit. This is not mainstream shit. Man. Looking at some more Israel footage of my house tonight. And, the Bat Cave. And, I look at that footage, I don't even believe it's real. I don't believe it's real. You know, I think this, I don't believe that Israel. I just feel like if you're at war with another country, right, I would have escalated to something at this point. What are we, a week into it? And like, you know, they shoot missiles, and then they shoot missiles, and then they shoot missiles. It's like, it seems like, I think what they thought was the U.S. was going to get involved immediately. And then they could, I don't know, make it more of a real thing. Excuse me. But, yeah, we're dragging our feet, I guess, helping them, which is good. Because, no one wants to die for Israel, man. And I can see that, you know, they're trying to make this into a thing where there will be a draft. And if there is, it's not because they have an enemy in the Middle East they want to fight. It's all about killing more of my people. That's all they're focused on. It's part of their religious move. Their religion says that they have to get rid of us. The sons of Adam, the two sons of Abraham. Yeah, so that's all it would be about. That's why they love stuff like Ukraine. Just all white guys killing each other. They love that. So, I mean, I know they're all in this whole thing together, but as we talked about here before, there are factions on the evil side. While they're all in lockstep for the macro of everything, they're kind of in competition. Not competition, really, but they kind of try to fuck each other over all the time. They try to get, each group tries to get more power than the others in the whole Legion of Doom. So it seems like they're not in lockstep about this, and I think the idea was we were supposed to get into it like immediately, and we didn't for whatever reason. I don't know. So instead you have just this slow motion. It's like chasing OJ. You know, it's just like the slow speed car chase. It's like, well, we're doing this thing, we're having a war, but you know, we're gonna shoot some missiles, and then they're gonna shoot some missiles, and then we're gonna have gay sex orgies in our bunkers. Because I've seen those videos around Twitter. There's this one dude that's been going on like different bomb shelters with a bunch of gay dudes, and they've been hooking up in the bomb shelters. It's fucking disgusting, but whatever. Degenerate. So yeah, this seems to be dragging out. It's going on like a week now. Like, I don't know. Wars, to me, I mean, usually when you're engaged in combat with someone, I think it goes a little quicker than this. Maybe not. Could be wrong. It feels weird. It feels like they're waiting. And all the talking heads are trying to pressure the U.S. and all their, you know, social media people saying how it's important for the U.S. to get involved. Because, like, what? Iran's going to take the world over unless we stop them? Are they saying they have, like, weapons of mass destruction now, too? I don't even know. I mean, the whole fight between them was fabricated by them. You know, they were behind the Ewok glider attack. So they attacked themselves so they would have a reason to strike them. In Palestine, I mean, the Palestinian thing. Iran's a whole nother thing. And it's funny, when they were getting shelled a couple of nights ago, they're all complaining about it, like getting mad about it. It's like, well, what do you think, you're just going on bombing everybody and no one gets to hit you back? Tells you a little bit about the psychology of those people. I like when I record a whole ass segment and realized I had it on fucking photo setting. So last night, for whatever reason, I was listening to a record called Hot Space by the band Queen. It was sort of an uncharacteristic album for them, as it was trying to capitalize on the success of their 1981 hit, Another One Bites the Dust, which was mainly like a dance kind of track. If you know Queen, you know what I'm talking about. When they were, you know, by and large a rock band, however, with Broadway, I guess, affectations, if you, I don't know, show tunes they had kind of mixed into their sound, along with Beatles and Beach Boys and the harmonies anyway. But anyway, they after they had a hit with Another One Bites the Dust, which was kind of like a dance track, they decided that they would double down on that sound, much to the horror of their fans, and create an album that isn't fully completely disco, but is very much front-loaded with those kind of songs. It's coming at a time when disco is pretty much dead. And they already had the big disco sucks backlash and the record burning thing in, what was it, Ohio? And so disco was very out. But Freddie was, you know, he's going all those kind of, those gay dance club kind of places where they play that sort of music. Welcome to the Ramrod, gentlemen. Remember, no lips below the hips and have a great evening. Like those kind of places. So he was making songs like that. And, I mean, that's a fucking, I guess that's the thing you can do. But I don't know if their fan base really wanted that. I feel they liked Another One Bites the Dust. It had some aggression to it. You know, it had that groove. So it definitely had crossover appeal. But it wasn't the dance and disco elements that I think put that song over. I think that there's just, it had an aggression to it, that insistent beat. It was just, it was a good song that could cross over. But for some reason, I'm guessing Freddie and John Deacon mainly thought it would be good to try to rewrite Another One Bites the Dust 5 or 6 times and fucking call it an album. And so they did. It was called Hot Space. It came out in 1982. It's probably the most maligned Queen album. If the Queen album is really even maligned, they never really made a bad album, and Hot Space isn't a bad one. It's just a stylistic shift, and it didn't really work at the time for them, critically or commercially. Like most of Queen's music after 1980, it did much better everywhere else in the world, excluding America, where since the game they've had a kind of a tough time. They never really got their footing back in the 1980s after that one album. But Hot Space is kind of one that people overlook a lot, and I like it. I think it's cool. It's got definitely some cheesy fucking tunes on it, but that's kind of the charm of it. It's kind of fun, But for some reason, I was listening to it last night, and something pushed me in that direction. And I was listening to the live albums. Well, actually, there's only one live album from that specific tour, from the Hot Space tour. I think it's the Live at Milton Keys one. I don't know which one it is, but it's an album from that tour. So anyway, fucking I'm listening to Hot Space, which is not a Queen album that a lot of people listen to, if you haven't listened to Queen. And I'm in this fucking Target, and what's playing over the Target speakers is Cool Cat, which is a jam from the Hot Space album, side 2. Was never a single. Kind of weird. Just the fact they're playing a Hot Space track at all is kind of weird. Because usually in there, it's mostly just modern garbage. Like bad AI hip-hop and shit. Like, modern brain rot bullshit. Let's fucking drink poison kind of music, So it's just weird. I've been noticing that with my synchronicities lately. They've been way more left field and way more unlikely, I guess. That's a perfect example, the Hot Space thing, because it's not really a popular record. It's probably the least, or the least heralded one anyway, in 1982. It's not one people listen to. So the fact that I listened to it just last night, and then I ran into a Target, it's kind of weird, Now, synchronicities come all the time, and I don't know, fucking for years now I've been saying they just keep increasing in speed and velocity, and yeah, they do. In volume, in speed, and unlikelihood. There's one thing that I see a synchronicity of someone wearing a jacket that you just bought. It's another thing to put years and kind of abstract angles into them, and into the synchronicities where it's just really unlikely. They become more unlikely. What does that mean? I don't know. I don't even know why I brought it up. Just thought it was fucking kind of crazy. But yeah, that situation over there, I'm of course watching it like everybody else, and it's just funny that their reaction, they echo, they're like they can't believe that they're not getting the ride or die full support unconditionally from the Goyim. And it's like, man, people have changed on them. That since the Orville Redenbacher window has shifted lately toward them and their minions. You notice too, people are really coming down on the blacks. They're coming down on the gays. They're turning. They're turning. You see on social media where people are just they're not being as accepting of these groups as they have been, if they ever really were. I think what happened was they've been astroturfing these groups with Israel, mainly, and then these other groups as their golems and minions. Really hard. Forever, of course, but within the past 10 years especially. Right around 2016, ground zero for the Trump spell. Just like every president has spells they have to do. How you doing? Just every president has spells that they cast. There was a Trump spell. And what it did is, among many different things, is it brought out people after him to become more progressive despite him in some way. in some kind of abstract way, like, well, so Trump, we're gonna fire all our white workers, or whatever, like things that they would do to get back at Orange Man. So in that time, we're talking 10 years, it's just gotten more and more like that. Like more, and I think people, just regular people who just want to be, in civil society, have kind of just not said anything about it. They're just like, okay, we're doing this, okay, we're doing, and these groups in particular are just being shoved in their faces over and over again. These guys got a month, these guys got 2 weeks. This is for the great accomplishments here. We're taking down these statues and putting in there. We're, what I mean? They're just, people are getting hit with this stuff over and over and over for, better part of a decade. They're going to start like snapping back. God, we've had it. And it seems like now we have reached a saturation point for some of these groups and their masters as well. So, it's a bad time to be looking for, the slaves to back you up, with this move. They're already doing something kind of weird. They're doing a genocide right now. It's happening. It's so weird to think about, but it's going on right now. And in the beginning, there was pushback to it publicly, socially, in these kind of social media spaces. You could say stuff against it, but as time went on, it became less possible to say anything but show support. Up to the point where they're, deporting people who spoke out against them. That's what I think this whole ICE thing is about anyway. They don't care if there's Mexicans in the U.S. They want them to be here. They more want to just, out of outrage, send the people who might have been at a Palestinian protest, they want to send them back home and maybe to the Mossad dungeon, So it's kind of a weird time to, ask people for unconditional support in a terrible endeavor on two fronts. They got two things going now. That are normal, logical people. We're like, well, you can see why people aren't really down with them lately. They're fucking blown away by this. They can't believe it. And they're just crashing out over this so bad. Who's that fucking guy? I've told you before, you don't hate anyone. There's no such thing as hating people you don't know and all that stuff. But I hate this guy. He's like the wigger guy that was in those movies. Not Jamie Kennedy, but the other older guy who's like he thinks he's black and, I forgot his name. He's really ugly. He's always yelling about Trump and shit. Anyway, he had this video about talking about Jews being the chosen people and trying to explain to people that, just because, you're not chosen doesn't mean you're a bad person. And he's talking, he's an old white dude. Or, no, sorry, old Jewish dude. Oh my God, I called him white for a minute. He's an old Jewish guy. And he's like talking like a hip-hop artist from the early 1990s. Just because, you're not a Jew doesn't mean you're not fly. It doesn't mean anything except we're the chosen ones. We are God's chosen people. But that doesn't mean you can't be fresh and fly. I'm sure what you do is popping. But you're just not chosen. That's all it means. It's like you want to reach through the screen and fucking give him an ice cream. It's fucking infuriating. It's infuriating. Time to go in. Is this John again? No, that was John, my neighbor that I was talking about earlier with the kids. Either way, I got an ice cream in my bag, so I'm done yelling about the Jews again for now. I'll yell about the gays and the blacks when I come back. Thanks for popping in. It's always nice to see you nice and all that. Till next time, don't blame the teacher, blame the school.